WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany, tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have another single cask here from McCrae's. Never heard of McCrae's? Well, to be honest, never had I before these 4 bottles landed here in my whiskey den. McCrae belongs to Hunter Laing. So we had Douglas Laing and Hunter Laing together. They separated after their father gave the 2 brothers the enterprise, and then their children started taking over, and they decided to divide it up. And what's interesting enough, I did not know that above Hunter Laing is then the Langside Distillers. Langside Distiller has over 400 different bottlings in Whiskybase, and McCrae has over 42. All right. So this is Mortlach. Yay, we like Mortlach, don't we? Very, very interesting. Maybe a little bit of a meaty moment here. Whiskybase number 180080. And this is imported here in Germany by a guy named Ralf Zindel. I actually did an interview with him once. I think it was in Limburg at the Whiskey Fair back then. So this was distilled in October 2007. It was bottled in December of 2020. So it's a 13-year-old, and as you can notice, it's a sherry butt. 471 bottles at 52.7% ABV. In Germany, it goes for around 77 euros. So not bad, actually. So what am I going to compare it with? I'm going to compare it with another Mortlach, this time from Signature Vintage. So, and the interesting thing about this Mortlach is it is not from a sherry cask. This is 2 bourbon barrels that they put together so that they had enough juice for everyone out there, more or less. And this is 12 years old, 56.9%, and yeah, 85 euros. So we're paying almost 10 euros more for 1 year less by Signature Vintage, and also the missing sherry casks, which of course we hopefully understand are a little bit more expensive than a sherry butt. So you do need 2 sherry, you need 2 bourbon barrels to make up for 1 sherry cask. All right, so 471 and 58. So even it didn't even make up. So 2 bourbon barrels does not even make up the size of 1 sherry butt. All right, you can see the difference here. Here we have the bourbon. Here we have the sherry. Now this is not the dark black sherry that I dislike at the moment. This is a fairly good color of a sherry, which I can, yeah, at least recommend from the coloring here. Let's take a look at here. All right, good. You can see that now. All right, so on the nose, the sherry, the McCrae. Oh, nice. Fruit, a little bit of spice, a little bit of cinnamon maybe. And there's a meatiness to this. Interesting. Here I have the same meatiness. It must be the distillery character, which I'm slowly but surely getting used to. All right, very, very good. Now, I'm just going to try this before I read the tasting notes. There's just 3 tasting notes, by the way. Cheers. This is not the optimal drinking strength for me. 1, hot. 2, a little bit of a mineral moment. And 3, a light bitterness. All right, so let's change this whiskey into something fantastic. Let's dilute the 52 down to about 46%. And let's try this again. All right, cleanse my palate. Cheers. red berries, a little bit of toffee, and a honey roasted ham. Now, why did I say those three tasting notes? Because that's exactly what they wrote here on the bottle. They wrote down here red fruits, toffee, and honey toasted ham. I don't know if you remember those hams in a can, Christmas time, and there was a honey syrup around it, and you put it in the oven, and it was so good. That's what a little bit which I'm getting here. It's not a Spanish type of dried ham. It's not a Virginia dried ham. Wow, I grew up in Virginia. I should know about the Virginia dry hams, but I went for the Spanish first. Shows how long I've been in Europe. It's not a dry ham. It's that tinned can honey ham. Very prominent there. Very nice. This is a C plus whiskey with water. Now, I stand here a little bit with a torn heart. I like cask strength whiskeys, but I don't like cask strength whiskeys that get better when I add water. Understand my dilemma? If it was me and I tasted this whiskey at cask strength, and it was me if I tasted this whiskey at 46% non-chilled filtered, no color added, I would have bottled it at 46%. Why? Because it tastes better. I want to give my customers, I want to give the people with the whiskey drinkers out there the best possible experience with my whiskeys. So if I would have put this without any water and tried it, was like, that's not very good. And that's what actually happened with a different bottle, which I'm not going to review in German, but I'm going to mention it. The Tamdhu is a 20-year-old. It's a very, very light refill hogshead. I think it's a third fill hogshead. And it's just so... it's a little bit like a minerally type of flowery moment. Flowery, yes, an Floury. Yeah, yeah, it was almost starchy. That was the word I was looking for. Starchy, yeah, starch. And I don't like my whiskeys with starch. I don't like my apples with starch. I don't like my my potatoes with a lot of starch or flowery moments. But that's that way it was. And even with water, I diluted it all the way down below 40%. It just didn't get there. This, at the very beginning, is like, then I put water in, it's like, oh. And so I think that should have been bottled at the 46%. You can kill me, you can stone me, you can yell at me or write bad things about me. But I personally believe that a whiskey should not be bottled at cask strength every single time. I think the whiskey should be bottled at the moment of best taste. Think about that. You can have a totally different opinion. Write down in the comments, what do you want your whiskey to be? The best tasting whiskey according to someone else? Or do you want a cask strength and play with the water? Now with single cask like this, I can understand that. That's their company model. It's cask strength, it's non-chilled filtered, there's no color added, bam, boom. But as I said, I would have taken this bottle and not done it in this category. I would have put it in a Hepburn's Choice, and hopefully I've had two more to mix it with, and then I would have bottled it at 46% and had hopefully something that was fantastic. But who knows? All right, I'm going to put a little bit more in here, and then I'm going to go over to my Signature Vintage that was almost 10 euros more expensive, and try that instead, our bourbon cask matured whiskey. And by the way, the same problem I have here, it actually gets better with water. And here, both of these are actually very nice whiskeys. Which one do I prefer? Depends on the mood and depends on the time of the year. I'm more of a sherry type of guy in the fall and the winter, and I'm more of a bourbon matured type of guy in the spring and the summer, especially in the summer, which we have at the moment. So, I even get light pineapple moments, tropical fruits, and that meaty type of moment. Good stuff. Very good stuff. I really like this bottle with water. Going here over to our McCrae's. I'm going to give this a C plus with water. Without water, it's more of a C minus. Nice. Very, very nice. Great nose. Mm. Mm-hmm. Very good palate. I got that honey toasted ham here. Very good. I personally, and now this is my opinion at the moment, believe that a 13-year-old whiskey can be absolutely at its prime. It doesn't have to be 20 years old. It doesn't have to be 30 years old. It doesn't have to be 40 years old. It doesn't have to be 18 years old. I think there are some fantastic whiskeys between or plus minus 15, as a 15 plus minus 2 or 3 years that are just waiting to be explored and discovered and enjoyed. And for me, that's one of these. Both of these are like that. So my question of the day, and I do not have any experience whatsoever to answer this myself. Mortlach, old or young? The old bottles that I've seen in Mortlach are so freaking expensive that I haven't bought one. And some of the younger whiskeys from Mortlach have not been great. I think the sweet spot at the moment is going to be around 12, 13, 14, 15 years for me at the moment. Those are the whiskeys I'm going to be looking for more, and I'm going to be trying to find those from independent bottlers and trying to explore them and savor them, which I've done here. So value for money, 76 euros is going to be a C minus. Here, 85 euros is going to be a C minus. Value for money is clear. The taste, with water, a C plus. Without water, more of a C minus. Without water, a C, and with water, a C plus. Both of these are absolutely great whiskeys very good whiskeys in my opinion. Great would be a B, but very good whiskeys. All right, my question of the day is also not just is Mortlach better old or medium aged or young. Also the question is, which Mortlach should I try that I haven't tried yet? Which was your favorite Mortlach out there? Give me some recommendations. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for subscribing. Thank you very much for telling others and maybe even sharing this video on platforms that I do not know about, social media and so on. All the best. See you soon. Bye-bye.